Radical.
Welcome to Flea Market Stories, the series that documents one man's journey into the world of flea marketing. Now, on this day, there were two major things that happened. The first was my realization that the person that was buying my game magazines that bought them the week before, his name is Daniel, is a reseller, is one of those, people that I designate. And I looked at them in a negative light mostly. The people that, walk the tables and find things to sell at their table. Now, he didn't specifically mention it, but it's just, I don't know. I just kind of get that feeling. And I mean, he's a nice guy, nice person. He didn't try to haggle me at all. And maybe he might be actually keeping some of the game magazines and maybe selling some of them. I don't know. He seemed to really, be interested in them. He was looking at them. He's like, "Oh man, that one's cool. And that one's cool." It, he kept asking though if I, had any more. So I'm thinking, well, unless this guy's an extreme hoarder and I might be feeding into his addiction, then I'm actually hoping that he's a reseller. I'm hoping that. Otherwise, I'm building another Radical Reggie only with like game magazines. Of course, I have acquired a lot of these game magazines like I acquired a lot of other stuff from the hoarder house, cleaning out the hoarder house. And now I'm trying to move off a lot of this stuff. Some of them were my game magazines, but a lot of those were just, in the hoarder house. A lot of things were in that hoarder house I cleaned out. So he bought, I think, about 43 of them. And I let him, no, wait. They were, I was charging $2 each. And combined, I mean, let's see how many it is. 20 worked out to be about $46, I think. But I cut him a deal. I let him have them for 30, right? So the table I was at was $15. And literally in a couple minutes, I had made back twice the amount of the table. I don't think that's ever really happened before within a couple minutes. And I'm thinking, I mean, I have a lot more gaming magazines in several books. I mean, in several boxes. I have books, all kind of stuff. And I know I have a lot more. I don't know how many more gaming magazines I have. There's some that I'm going to keep that look bad, that are not really worth reselling. But probably going to wind up selling all the others because I don't spend a whole lot of time reading game magazines. I mean, outside of maybe using that for a show off Saturday, I don't really spend a lot of time reading game magazines. Um, what did we just talk about? Auto renewal. The last episode was talking about auto renewal. Yes, things that you are not using, you need to try to sell. I think that's just wasted money. Yeah? Okay, so that was one thing there. And Daniel's a good guy. Uh, I'm going to try to segue and see if I can get Daniel to buy other things, maybe other types of magazines, but he seems like really laser focused on the gaming magazines. Now, time went by, and the weather was not bad. It was a little bit windy, somewhat chilly that day, but not too bad. There were other sales, insignificant sales, I believe. Maybe some, I had a couple Mad magazine, little small magazine books. Had some shampoo. There really wasn't, the weird thing was, like, I had a nice table set up, but there wasn't a lot of sales initially after those gaming magazines. I don't know what it is. I'd set up bins. I bought bins specifically for this purpose of trying to direct people to. And I'll maybe show it this week. I'm going to have the same setup similarly. I'm going to show it off. And I had a nice setup, so I don't know what the deal was. I guess it's how it is sometimes. But I sold what I needed to sell. I had the big sell. I sold something that I've been trying to sell. I mean, not like going up to people going, "Hey, you got to buy this, got to buy this." I'd been trying to show off and sell for several weeks. In fact, the back of the cardboard on it was getting kind of rough because I've been taking it in and out of the car. The tape around the edges was getting kind of rough, so I had to trim that tape around the edges. It was one of three basketball type deals that I acquired for 25 bucks at Walmart. I bought 3 of them, each 25 bucks. It's like a kid's play set, you know, with the you put the bars together, as electronic scoreboard and all that kind of stuff. Really fancy. The kind of thing that would probably sell during the holidays, but I outdid Walmart. I got 60 bucks for this item. Now, I did have 80 on it weeks back, but I came back from that going, okay, I mean, that's a little bit too greedy, you know. 80 bucks, a little asking a little bit too much. So I came back to 60, even though this item was originally 100 bucks before the clearance. I sold it, and it couldn't come at a better time. It was near the end of the day. Maybe an hour before I was going to like close up shop. Guy just walked up, and I had had a lot of people looking at it. He looked at the item, and I wasn't looking at him at that time. I actually don't make direct eye contact when people are looking at the items. I'm closer to them. Like I get a little closer, but I look down at a notepad or my phone or whatnot. That's my tactic. Because when it was early on in my flea marketing, I would try to rush the sale. I would talk to them constantly, but I think that was being a little bit pushy. So I just allow them space. He looked at it. He asked me a couple questions, mostly if it was new. Um, I think that was mainly the only question. Is it new? I said, yes, sir. A minute later, pulls out 3 crisp, crisp, crispy $20 bills, puts that in my hand, picks it up and walks off. And I say, sir, do you need a hand with that, getting that to your vehicle? Nah, I'm good. Big baller, man. Literally big baller. He is going to be balling and enjoying that. I mean, an adult can enjoy it too. I didn't ask if he had kids. I didn't ask if he liked basketball. Wasn't pushy. And it paid off.